All right, we are on. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Weekly Dose with Dr. Uday. So, today is going to be fun. We're going to be talking all about weight loss after the age of 50. I have a special guest with us. I have Dr. Awad with us today. So, I'm going to be giving you some information about her, and then we're going to jump right into it. So, before we get started, I'll start with introductions. For those that don't know me, my name is Dr. Uday. I'm a board certified family medicine physician. I'm based in Martinsburg, West Virginia. I own my primary care practice, namely Apple Valley Family Medicine, and I also provide aesthetic services. And with both modalities, my goal is to have my patients not only feeling good, but looking good. So let's get right to it. So I have Dr. Awad with us. She's a family doctor in Minnesota. She helps professional women over the age of 50 find permanent weight loss, and she hosts her own podcast, namely Vibrant MD, where she discusses weight loss and women's health. So, Dr. Awad, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yay. So, we're going to get right to it. So, this is going to be an interesting topic. It's weight loss after 50. So I guess to open the floor, the first question would be, what are the issues that you find with weight loss after 50?
Sure. Well, a lot of women come to me and say that what they used before for weight loss just doesn't work for them anymore. Or they didn't have a weight problem until like late 40s, and all of a sudden they saw that number on the scale going up and up and up until it was, out of the healthy range, and then they got worried. And so what the issue, we always think, well, our metabolism is broken and it dies. And I want to tell people your metabolism is not broken. You can still lose weight. But there are definitely, because there are hormonal changes before menopause and during and after, that make our experience with our bodies differently, and make our experience with weight loss different. And a lot of this stuff still works very well for men if we're talking about men. Um, Obviously, trans people and non-binary people as well. These things work for them as well. And some of the things when you get over age 50 that you need to look at are things like the inflammation in the way you eat, inflammatory foods, avoiding those, and thinking about insulin resistance. Now, almost anyone can lose weight paying attention to insulin resistance, even young people. But when you get over 50, it's the magic of how to lose weight is to look at that insulin resistance piece. I think. I'm also a family doctor like you. Is that been your experience as well?
Yes, it has. I mean, it's just that's the one thing, especially the abdominal fat, like for
Yes.
women of that age, because I mean, and obviously, when you're doing all the right things, it's actually the last fat on the body to disappear. Um, so, what would you say? Because you're a life coach, and so what would you say the obstacles you find for patients that come to you?
Sure. Um, I mean, medically, I'd say some of the fundamentals really need to be there. So things like sleep, which also gets disturbed around this age, is really important to dial in. If you're having like menopausal issues that are keeping you up, see your doctor. If you're just always had sleep problems, your doctor or your acupuncturist can help with that. If someone is all of a sudden telling you that you snore, it's time to pay attention to that and talk to your doctor. So if things aren't going well with your sleep and you can't get them better, definitely it's time to go visit your doctor, because that throws off your hormones as well. And sometimes your sleep gets disturbed because your hormones are getting weird around menopause. As far as the coaching part, people come to see me because with the coaching part, we work on all the sticky situations that make eating difficult. Like you have a mom who is food, to her food is love. And
Mm.
so she wants to love you with food. Or you have social events you go to, and I get people who say, I don't want to be that person who doesn't eat at everything. And so we can work around those things. I really work with people to get kind of a simple personalized plan so that
Mhm.
we look at their week and, how can we, make some plans to figure out how to eat when you want to, don't eat when you don't want to, and deal with people who are difficult or food pushers or those kinds of things.
What are the actionable tips that you would have or give to our listeners
Sure.
for to help with weight loss at this age?
I would say, dial into the sleep, make sure optimize your sleep as much as you can. Drink enough fluids. Don't drink instead of eating. Still eat. Um, and I would also say that the one thing you can do for insulin resistance is just give some space in between your meals. So, if you want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do that, but don't do a lot of snacking in between. In fact, if possible, don't snack in between. And if you want to try intermittent fasting, this is a great age to try it because some people we know, they're like, well, I eat breakfast because we were taught to eat breakfast every day, but I wake up and I'm not actually hungry. Well, if you're not hungry in the morning, go ahead and wait because that again will give you some time, which allows your blood sugar to fall, allows your insulin levels to fall. Eh, Excuse me. And insulin tells our body to store fat. So we need that to get quiet.
That's right. Thank you so much. So those are all great tips. Now, the other question that some of our listeners might be curious about is, so a client that comes to you for help, what would they be expecting to happen when they come to you?
Sure. People that come to me usually work with me for 3 months. And some of them have lost all their weight in that time and some have not, but at the end, generally they're like, oh, I know what to do and it's going great. So,
Oh.
nice to know you. So we work on that simple personalized plan. And then we kind of just keep hitting all the things with coaching. We do have group coaching as well as people have a personal check-in with me every week. People like coming to the group to talk about different things like, eating at holidays, traveling for work. So people enjoy that a lot. But then we can hit kind of the weekly goals and what's coming up.
Absolutely. So switch gears. The other question I tend to ask doctors that come on is, why do you do what you do?
Why I do what I do?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So in my late 40s, I also started to gain weight and watch the scale go up and got really concerned about my health because I was getting that belly fat that we worry about with heart disease and those things. Um, but it took some coaching for me to be able to lose it. Like I tried to lose it and it just wasn't working. And I felt like I was struggling and working hard. And then when I learned how to kind of keep commitments to myself, and to look at these different eating situations in a new light. When did I want to choose to eat? When did I not? And then all of a sudden, weight loss got super easy. And so I thought, wow, if I can help other professional women kind of free their minds,
Okay.
and then it gets really simple. And it's funny because that's what people say to me. In the first month, they're like, okay, we're going to look at this, we're going to look at that, I got to go on a trip and we really dive into all this. And then month 3, they're like, this is so simple. And I say, well, look at all that, you did a bunch of hard work at the beginnings and
Right.
that's why it is simple, but it's kind
Um,
of, so, I felt like it was such a gift to me when I had kind of freed my mind around this stuff, and I thought, "Oh, other people are gonna want this."
I want to pass that gift on to other people.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, the other one I usually ask, and this is completely unrelated, is I always say, if you could meet your 20-year-old self with all the experiences that you've had thus far, what would you say? What would your advice be to your 20-year-old self?
Awesome. I would tell myself to not play small because I think upbringing was, you know, be quiet, don't make too much noise, don't draw attention. And then that doesn't work very well in our careers or really in our relationships. So I would say go ahead and really step out and if you have an intuition that you want to do something, really go for it because most things that you want to do you can make happen.
Absolutely. I always ask that question because there's always someone possibly in that position and obviously could benefit from that. Thank you,
Sure.
Awad. So how can people connect with you?
Sure. Well, I do have the Vibrant MD podcast if people want to check that out. Um, Also, I am on Instagram with my name, Heather Awad MD.
Mhm.
You can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I have a website. If people actually would like some tips on how to lose weight over 50, there's a download that they can get on my website, vibrant-md.com/tips.
Awesome. So, guys, definitely check it out. And if you're looking for a primary care doctor that cares, Apple Valley Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Our phone number is 304-350-1087. And you can also find us online at www.applevalleyfamilymed.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a
Thanks for
wonderful
having me.
day. All right. Bye.